everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. I am Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today we're going to be making a card out of this Tasteful Thoughts. And let me tell you what I've done so far. I got me a piece of this white ribbon. It's a little thin 1/4 inch ribbon, and I'll leave the link below of what that is. It is, looks like 32 inches long. Wax paper here, just it could be foil, wax paper, anything that you have that kind of helps keep your surface clean here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to dye my ribbon with ink. I don't have a ribbon that color, so there's no reason we can't take white ribbon and dye it. And if it's a little bit faded or a little bit dark, I really don't care, because I'm going to have both shades inside my card. So I'll just spray a little bit of water, look like half and half ink, half water, and just dip this in here. And if I want to leave some white in here, I will, and I think I'll just stop right there. See, there's some white inside of that ribbon, and I kind of like that two-tone look. So I'm going to let this dry. I'll just hang it over my lights here that I have here, and it'll be dry by the time I need it. Use this die here, this die set. It comes with the ornate, I think it's ornate layers. I did use this one right here and cut it out of white, just because I needed something to break up the background on my card here. And I also used this folder here, Blackberry Bliss ink. I used this paper here. It's from the Peony Garden set, but I like this marble background, so I'm going to use that. It would look good in a lot of different of these colors. So just kind of pick what you think. It's just kind of a neutral color is probably what you'd want. It doesn't have to be gray, but that's just the one I liked out of the set that I have. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this under here and this on top of that, and use for my sentiment, which I cut. I stamped it, used my embossing folder, which is not necessary. I also used my embossing folder on this mat that goes on the inside that I'll have my inside of my card. And I just went around and cut it free-handed, because I wanted it white, but I really didn't want to emboss it white, so I just did that. Okay, about 1.5 inches. I ran it through this embossing folder like this in my machine, just ran it through. And I did run this through too. Not necessary, but I kind of like that little extra texture. Okay, now I also have some of this Blackberry Bliss cardstock. This one's 9 by 6.5, and on the long side I scored it at 4.5. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit of an oversized card. Okay, and this one is 6.5 by almost 5, and I mean I just cut a little smidgen off of this area here and scored it at 1/2 inch down from this edge, and that's because this is going to go on the inside of the card, and I don't want it to be hanging up there, so I cut it a little bit off this area here. Okay. And this is the mat that goes on the inside, and it is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. That will go on the inside. Now I'm going to do some stamping here. This is one of them that I made already. I kind of messed it up a little bit, but I think it's good enough to use. And I'm going to make several of these, I think, to go in the background. I've done this technique many times before, but I will show you briefly how I did that. I probably make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 6 or 7 of those. And I'm also going to stamp the feather here out of one of these. I'm going to kind of just fussy cut that out real quick and put it on the right here on that area that I embossed. So that's what my plans are. Okay, so I'll show you with one, and then we'll cut and come back with the other so you can see the different steps. Okay, so I'm just go ahead and I'm always using the Blackberry Bliss for my ink this time. I'm not using any black at all. I'm just using the Blackberry Bliss. And I'll stamp this. And then I'll stamp my flower about 7 times. These are just some scraps off of that card the card base that I made. And that's done in Whisper White, by the way. Show you how I color these first. I do use a sponge dauber and that same ink on my Avery's paper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it away from the edge a little bit. And this time, I'm going to give myself about a 1/2 inch all the way around. And I'm going to go ahead and go all the way up and leave, cut around, and leave those curls. I'm going to cut the curls out, basically. Everything there's a curl. This is a curl, looks like all the way around. So those are going to be all the highlighted areas. And I want to leave those white. Go ahead and cut around these leaves because there's no curls. Okay, here's a curl here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. With my background. There's another curl here. Cut that out with my background. And then this one has one on the lower part of it. And this is all curl here. Okay, and as you can see, I left all my curls there. Now I'm going to go ahead and tape this back. Trim it away so I don't have any overlapping. Now that's the area that I'll cover this up, so I'll leave my curls without getting the ink on them. This time I'm going to go ahead and cut these back petals off, and I won't keep them. I'll just cut them off. This is a back petal, this is a back petal, and so is this. Another back petal. These both are back petals. Looks like this is a back petal here, all this. Go ahead and cut these out. Go ahead and cut this one out, these out. Now see, when I lay this on top, everything in the background I'm going to be able to color in real easy because I've got this cut out to cover this up, okay? Okay, so here I go with the coloring. This is, you know, some work, but it really does go pretty fast because you just have this one mask and you can use it over and over. You know, if you have another project and you want to do it this way, you can save it and put it in your ink pad, your ink stamp pad, and have it for the next project. Okay, so I'll cover this up. I'm I'm covering up all the curls and trying to go around that as well as I can. If I miss it a little bit, it's not going to hurt a whole lot. It kind of gives it a little extra highlight if you do that, if you do miss it. Okay, I got that one around there pretty good. And I'll go ahead and stick my small mask on top too. And cover this up. Okay, now I'm trying to get it dark, but not so dark that I want to cover it all up. I kind of like those little lighter edges. So I'm trying to go kind of almost up to the background here. Not quite. Now, when I pull this one up, and put this one here, get it ready for the next flower. I can go ahead and do the inside of this one and do the bottom of these, and that gives my flower that quick color. So you can see what I mean, just a little bit of time cutting all these little things out. And if you wanted to go around the edges of the bottom of this, the curl, you can. That kind of gives it more of a realistic look. See how I just mostly did it on the paper? Okay, now I'll do this one, and I'll get back. So all the rest will be done just exactly the same, and I'll be back when these are done. I got all 6 of my flowers cut out, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dot our glue. I'm just going to put it on one of my smaller blocks, a dot of it, and just make little dots with my stylist inside the centers. I like to do this technique. It's inexpensive, and when you're doing a lot of flowers like this, you could use the sequins and stuff like, I mean, not the sequins, but well, I guess you could. Your gems and stuff, all that stuff would look beautiful, but it would be quite expensive to fill these up with gems, so you just use your own judgment of those. But anyway, I'm just putting dots of glue all inside the center, not filling it up completely, just leaving it as dots. And I'll use some Heidi Swapp gold foil. It's kind of a craft gold foil. After this dries, and it'll give each one of these flowers a gold center. I'm going to set those aside to dry while I work on my card itself. And I'm going to go ahead and glue my feather on the top of this. Since I got my sentiment on the outside, I thought this would be cute there. And I'll just go ahead and glue that straight down to my card, or to my mat. And probably hold that down with a little bit of something, with that texture underneath it. Probably needs a little bit of support to hold that down to dry just for a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to take this shorter piece, and I'm going to run some glue on the back of this shorter piece right here. And I'm going to glue it so the inside of it's on the front, because I'm going to cover that inside with the mat anyway, so there's no reason I can't just glue that to the front of the card. I'll hold it. This cardstock's pretty thick, so probably a few clothespins wouldn't hurt to put it on this part until it dries, or flips of some sort. Now this mat that I cut out of the marble paper, I don't think I told you what size that was. It's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. I'll go ahead and glue my sentiment in the center of this. Blackberry Bliss. Blackberry Bliss. Thing up. Did I tell you about that? That was cut from the from this set here that belongs to the Tasteful Touches. Okay, you can see I'm cut it out of this one here. Center this. Okay, next I'm going to go ahead and put this inside. These bow makers are free with your first $100 order, by the way. So if you'd like to make a Stampin' Up order, just go down below. Get $99 worth of supplies at least, and you can have this bow maker for free. I'll send it to you along with a new catalog. Okay, and I've got it like 4 inches apart. I'll hold this one end about 6 inches from the top. 4 to 6 inches, and hold it in my left hand. I'm going to take this one in my right hand, and I'm going to make a figure 8. That's 6 right there. Let's see if I got, yeah. I'll stop at 6. So that's 3 on each side. Take the one that I was holding in my left hand, go over the right one, go under all of the loops, and now just tie it one time right in the center. I'm trying to aim for the center of that, and you got your pretty three or 6 loop bow. Go ahead and shorten these up a bit. We need to put our Go foil on here now. These are all dry. This is that MINC Heidi Swap Gold Reflective Foil. You can just cut you off a scrap of this. It won't take much to do even these 6 ones. This is probably too much, but that's okay. You put it where the Go foil's up. What you see on top is what you get, okay? This Stampin' Up multi-purpose glue, it stays sticky, so it grabs a hold of this paper real nicely. This foil. And if you do miss a spot, you can go over it again, and you know, like if you have an area that's blank on your foil, you can go over it again and do it again. See if you can find some more. It's probably good to get all the sticky off the glue so it doesn't get sticky on here anyway, to go ahead and do it 2 times just in case there's some left. Okay, that's that. I'm going to take some dimensionals and put it behind here. Since I'm going to build my flowers on the outside of this, I'm going to kind of put my, I'll put 4 of them, all of them towards the inside of, or 3 of them, all of them towards the inside of my card there. And now I'm going to go a little higher than this. Go ahead and put this about that spot there and glue this down. This doesn't have to have a hole in the center. It's just that's the way I cut it from another project. But, you know, you can just leave yours solid, okay, because it's not going to be showing behind here anyway. And it doesn't matter if it does show, it'll still be pretty. I'm going to put, if I didn't have this thing cut out, I would just put it right in the center of the glue. But since I do, I'm just going to put some dotted, about 3 dots of glue on each side on the inside of this frame here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to stick my flowers in behind this. So I'm centered this. I'm putting this about 1.25 inches down from the top and centering it from side to side and sticking that down. And I'm going to stick with the sentiment on the inside of that. Good Lord. Hope I got a flower to cover that up. Now I'm going to stick my flowers all around here, especially over that spot I just messed up. I think what I'm going to do is kind of cut one of these in half and hope that's about right. And work that behind there. Stick some glue behind each one of these. And then I'll take this to the back and cut this off here. I'll put my bow here. Use a glue dot for that. Okay, with my extra flower here, I think what I'll do, instead of making a belly band, I'm going to just make an envelope and stick it in the envelope. To give it a little extra special something over here, I want something here, so I'm going to just go ahead and glue this to my card. Could even do one here. And I'm going to stick it so it's just right on the edge of each one. And now, just to make it a little something extra, I'm going to take this, and where it hits the edge, I'm going to just cut out behind it. There. You are so special. And I could also put inside, you are the best. So let's do that. I'm going to just do that on some white cardstock. Probably just a little scrap that I have here. Kind of like the shape of this one. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. And I'll be right back. Okay. And that's our card for the day. I'm going to go ahead and make an envelope, and if you will just notice at the end of this video, I'm going to put some links to how to make an envelope for your card, and it'll tell you exactly how to do that. Thank you. Bye-bye.